Sup peeps, my name's Ian, I sell books on eBay. Welcome to or welcome back to the channel. A few orders to run through this morning. Again, another slow day. January's been really slow so far this month, but I've got a few to go through just now. Then I'm going to nick off to the storage, pick up a couple more, and I'll show you them in a little while, although for you it will be moments after this ends. Anyway, I'm going to batter through this lot because I'm going to try and get them packed and take them with me first thing this morning. So first order is 5 Harlan Coben paperbacks. As we know, always popular. £14.99 for the 5 of those. So that's a nice little start. And then we have a single book. So this is one that I find all the time living in Ayrshire. Various different editions, and a lot of the time I don't even bother picking it up because it's so common. It doesn't sell for much and it's a bit of a chunky book, but this one was a little bit different. It's a really nice edition of Burns' Complete Poems and Songs. So yeah, nice kind of more modern looking hardcover edition, and that sold for £6.90. So yeah, I was quite pleased that that sold. It's only been there a couple of weeks, but we are heading towards the end of January, which is Burns Night, so now's the time if you are going to have these things to get them sold. Next we've got some media, a wee collection of Stargate Atlantis. I think that's season 1. So yeah, just 5. They probably came in a box set or something originally, but now they are just 5 Stargate Atlantis DVDs, £6.99. So nothing spectacular at all, but a cheap post. Those ones I need to go pick. These ones I have right here. So yeah, another DVD bundle. This is from my Disney listing. We've got The Lion King, Inside Out and Monsters University, £8.99. So buy 2 get 1 free plus postage. And now, as I've said before, I pick up strange things that just look like they could go as a set. So I picked up a stack of like Wellbeing Reiki books and listed 4 of them in a bundle just to see how they would go, and that's taken a couple of weeks, but the 4 of them have sold for £12.99. so that might be something that I think about more moving forward. You know, when somebody's handed in a collection, they're not particularly valuable books on their own, but if you put them together you get the same kind of money for them, but it's more profitable because you're only paying 130p fee and you're only paying 1 lot of postage. So £12.99 for 4 Reiki Wellbeing books. And then the last one to share with you just now is a book I showed you the other day because I just picked it up, and it's that nice vintage copy of The Day of the Jackal by Frederick Forsyth. Again, good condition. Listed it showing that it was that edition, and that sold for £14.99. so thank you, Jeff. And that's all we've got for now, but I'll be back soon to show you a little bit more. Back again, and really beginning to wonder what's going on with eBay at the moment. This has been another shocking day. Just like sub £100, which is just such a drop off from where it was pre-Christmas period. It's a little bit frightening. January seems to usually be okay, but it's just like it's bombing. So I really hope that picks up. This is the kind of wee run you get where you begin to think, do I need to do something else? You know, you get a bad day, you get a good day, you get a bad day, you get a good day, you get a bad day, bad day, bad day, bad day. Once you've had a week of bad days, which is what I have now had, then all of a sudden you've not made any money, and those bills at the end of the month, you've only got 3 weeks to make your money rather than 4. So yeah, definitely getting to one of those points. Anyway, that aside, I have had another couple of orders come in, one of which I will need to pick in the morning, so I can't show you that just now, and one of which I've been to the unit twice today, and both times I have gone to pick up this order, and both times I have left it sitting where it was. I'm getting a bit annoyed. First time I sat it down because I sit stuff at the front of the unit and then I grab it all as I leave once I've got everything, and for some reason I just didn't pick these up. Second time I went back, I picked them up, but I've only picked up the top 2. It's meant to be 3 Sheila Newbury books, and I've only picked up 2 of them. and it's a pre-made bundle, so they're all sat together, so I'm not quite sure how I've managed that. I'm a wee bit annoyed with myself, but it's no big deal. I will grab them on the way to the post office in the morning, as it's right next door to the Royal Mail Centre. The unit is. It's not a big deal. Takes me an extra minute. So I'll just get the label printed, take a package with me, and just give them a wrap and stick them in that as I take them into the Royal Mail office. But 3 Sheila Newbury books. There is one of them. They sold for £8.99, so it's not a big sale, but still, you want everything to be dealt with as proper as what you can. Next, this is from a multi-listing. We've got some Captain Underpants and Dogman. I think there's a Dogman movie coming, so there might be a wee run on these as they go. But we've got 5 of them, a couple of hardcovers, Dogmans, the rest in paperback. But that lot went for £15.94. So that's a better order. That's the kind of size order that I like. Then for £11.55, we've got 3 Gerald Seymour hardcover and a couple of paperbacks. A couple of paperbacks. Red Fox, Jericho War, A Song in the Morning. So yeah, Gerald Seymour. I've had that listing going for a while. I don't really add to it very often, and occasionally they sell. That's why you have all these listings. So you can get £11.55 for 3 books. Finally, for now, let's see, it's been a quiet day. We've got 3 Georgette Hare novels. This is our mystery and suspense novels, Duplicate and Death. They're all pretty vintage. £2.95 that cost, so it's pretty vintage. Death in the Stocks and Footsteps in the Dark. I picked up a big bundle of Georgette Hare and split it into like 3 lots. These were only 3 crime books, and amongst it, the rest were historical fiction, a load of kind of pan vintage, and then whoever else she published under a bundle of them. So split them into 3 lots. That's the first one to sell. £9.99 for those 3 little paperbacks. So again, good, but not enough. Not enough. I need to get an awful lot more moving. I have listed a lot the last couple of days. I mean, I know I didn't list much over Christmas, so there will have been a bit of an impact from that, but it seems disproportionate. Frustrating, but you know, all you can do is keep plugging away. And if I've got 2 more days, if it's as bad as it has been for the last like 5 or 6 days, then I need to go and do something else to pay the bills this month, which is really frustrating. I do other bits and pieces, but I'll need to make a concerted effort, which means that eBay, everything else just goes out the window until I've got money coming back in again, which is annoying. I do that the odd time. Actually, I think once in the last year I had to go, right, I need to take a week off and go and make money somewhere else just to make sure the bills are paid. And I don't want to be at that position right at the start of the year. That's really frustrating. But you got to do what you got to do, because you got to pay the rent, you know, and feed the children. And they get very hungry, these children. Yeah, what else? Other bits of news. And a couple of comments to respond to. I have launched a second channel. The odd time I've come onto this channel and I've spoken about books outside of the reselling part of things, you know, so what am I reading? You know, I collect books as well as buying and selling them. You know, I like to collect, I like to read, I like to see what's coming, all of these things. So I don't like putting those videos on here because they're kind of not what people come to this channel expected to see, I would imagine. So I've started a second channel. Ian Almost Does Booktube, all one word, no spaces. I'll leave a link in the description to it if anybody fancies going over and checking it out. I've just put up one kind of introductory video at the moment. It was meant to be 3-4 minutes, ended up being about 20 minutes, because I never stop talking once I get started on these things. I've never got much to say, but I say it anyway. So yeah, just one kind of introductory video up on that at the moment. If you want to go over there and subscribe, like, watch, do whatever you want. I think about 2 subscribers, and one of them is probably me. So it'll take a wee while to get the momentum going on that. I'd forgotten what it feels like uploading a video and then 6 hours later it having 0 views and thinking, oh come on, where's the view coming? Where's the view coming from? but it's not a bad feeling. It's just one that I had forgotten about. Get used to, you know, I don't have a huge number of views, subscribers, any of these things. You know, 500 views, that's a very good video for me. But when it gets uploaded, there's usually a few of you watch it quite quickly, so straight away you get a few views, and that's always nice to see. On that one, it went for a day. I think after a day I'm at 3 or 4 views, and let's say 1 or 2 subscribers if I include myself. So it's nice to see that it's there. If it's you guys that have already been on and watched it, because I did leave a wee link to it in the description yesterday when I went after I'd gone and updated it, but now I'm kind of telling you about it as well. So if you want to go and check that out, that would be great. It doesn't mean you need to stop watching these. Yeah, you can do both. I will not be uploading every day on the other one, probably maybe a couple of times a week, just depending on what's going on, because it is just to talk about books as I collect them, as I'm reading them, things I'm looking forward to, anything that comes up. But it means I don't talk about it here, and we can just focus on the eBay and the reselling and all of that stuff. So that's the big news. The big news. 2 new subscribers on that. When I last checked, I was sitting at 1,899 subs on this channel. So one more, and we'll hit 1,900. So really excited about that. Again, I know it's not huge compared to some, but it's way, way, way beyond anything I anticipated, thought would happen when I started doing this a couple of years ago. So it's just like, yeah, that feels like a big success to me. So happy with that. And then there was a couple of comments I wanted to come back to. Just kind of wee random, normally type things. Do I always post with tracked delivery? Yes. Over a couple of years, last few months, I have tried different delivery carriers. You know, I've tried Yodel, I've tried Every, Royal Mail, DPD, and if I'm being honest, the only one that is reliable and seems to get parcels there more often than not is Royal Mail tracked. When I use Royal Mail untracked, miraculously, nearly everything I send, because, you know, selling stuff for a couple of quid so you can just post it out super cheap, they never arrive. It's always the day after, because if you've got certain access to things, you can see where parcels have been in the Royal Mail network, and it always seems to be the day or 2 after it's been in a local delivery depot. Even though it's not tracked, you can still see these things if you know how, and I'm not telling you how because I shouldn't be doing it. You can see where they've been, and then miraculously, oh, that was never delivered, and the customer's always right. eBay will take their side, and I end up refunding. So it feels like so many orders when I've sent them that way. I haven't sent a huge number of orders like that, maybe 100 over the last few months, but 10, 20 of them have never been delivered. Yeah, right. So I just send stuff Royal Mail tracked. Now, Yodel, horrendous. You just don't know if it's going to get there, if it's going to get there in one piece. Definitely will not get there in the 2 to 3 days that they advertise. A week to 2 weeks is the norm there. Every is a bit better, but it's still not massively reliable. And the Every drop-offs, certainly what that I've got around here, it's basically just piles of parcels sat on the shop floor. And I just don't want to leave stuff lying in the middle of the shop floor. You know, shoplifting's one thing, but if the shopkeeper isn't losing stock, why do they care if somebody comes and just picks up a handful of parcels and walks back out when they've got their head down behind the counter? I don't like it. And the volume that I've got, it's not enough for Every to come and collect without charging a fortune, but it's too much for the shops. They can't cope with, you know, if I've got 3 big bags, they've got nowhere to put it other than, let us say, just piling it up by the front door. So yeah, I avoid Every. DPD is okay. I don't have a problem with DPD. I think I've had once where something just came straight back to me, but I think the customer actually just refused delivery of it. Don't know why, but they did. DPD is good, but I just use that when it's like a big box of stuff. So something that's between 10 and 20 kilos, because Royal Mail you get the same price up to 10 kilos, then it gets more expensive. So if it's between 10 and 20 kilos, I can put it in one big box and ship it via DPD for about the same as, you know, a medium parcel on Royal Mail, £6 something. So I do use DPD for that, but not as often. If you use more than one carrier, you've got more than one place you need to go to drop stuff off, and it's not as convenient as just going to the Royal Mail office and saying, here you go, thanks very much, cheerio, see you tomorrow. So yeah, I just use them for the big lots, which is occasionally, but not every day certainly. So yeah, tracked, charge what it costs you for postage, whether that's built into your price or you've got it on as extra postage. Make sure people know what service you're going to provide. You know, it'll tell them Royal Mail, tracked 48, 24, special delivery, first class, whatever it is. If you choose that, it will show them it, but just make it work. Yeah. Yeah, I always get questions about this, and I don't like answering them because I am not an accountant, right? I am not an accountant. It's, you know, our expenses like packaging, listing and eBay fees, storage, etc., tax deductible at the end of the year. Well, yes and no. It depends how you're set up. If you've got a business, say you're a sole trader, then record all your expenses, record all your sales, and at the end of the year, one minus the other is your profit. It's as simple as that. I'm not an accountant. Get proper financial advice on anything. I'm not a sole trader. This is a limited company, so it's a bit different, but still essentially the same. If you have expenses for the business, legitimate expenses for the business, don't go to Ibiza for a fortnight and claim it as a business expense. That ain't going to cut it. But if you do have legitimate business expenses, storage costs, buying stock, buying packaging, postage, eBay fees, other professional fees, whatever it might be, of course they are going to be deductible against your overall profit at the end of the year. So it just depends how you operate. If you're a sole trader, then you need to, you know, let HMRC know you're a business, and then yes, you can take your business expenses and take them away from your profits, and then see what your actual final profit is, and that's what you're going to pay tax on. If you're a limited company, then if you've gone down that route, you know exactly how that's going to work, otherwise you really shouldn't have done it, so there's nothing to comment on there. But keep track of what you spend, keep track of what you make, keep accurate track, because you never know when the tax man's going to come along and say, show us your books. And if you can't prove what you've got, then you're going to end up with a big tax bill, penalties, fines, potential jail time. There's all sorts of nastiness that comes with dodging the tax man. Tax and death, that's what you're guaranteed. Where was it? This a wee question about first editions. I've done a couple of wee videos on that in the past. I'm not going to go into it again here, but I will do something soon on first editions. Having said that, you know, Google it, how to identify a first edition. There's a lot of great material out there where you can just go and have a quick look rather than having to sit and watch a video. That'll give you a few examples of what a first edition title page looks like and the kind of things you want to be looking out for. Some are more obvious than others. And the last little one for now, where was it? Yes, the eBay ceiling. I saw this yesterday and I thought, have I already spoken about that? And I couldn't remember, but I don't think I have. I'm sure I'll go back and rewatching whatever I spoke about in previous days. I'm not going to find out. The eBay ceiling. It always feels like eBay are putting a ceiling on your sales. I always feel that way. I don't believe that's the case, but it always feels like that. The ceiling that is on your sales does exist, but it's going to be determined by a number of things. So, you know, what kind of items have you got listed? How many of them have you got listed? What your titles are like? How good a sell-through rate you have on different things? If, you know, there's 100 customers available to eBay in a day, obviously there's more than that, but they only have a limited number of buying customers every day, and their algorithm will recognise who those customers are through other cookies and this, that and the other. So when someone goes onto eBay, eBay knows how likely this person is to spend money, and then it'll look at what they're looking for. So if somebody is very likely to spend money because every time they come onto the site they buy something, and they are looking for books, I'm a bookseller, so let's go with that, then eBay is going to show them the listings that sells the most books. If it's generic a single title of something, then they will show them the sellers who make the most sales before anything else. This is out with all your promoted listings. So yes, your big sellers are more likely to be at the top of that pile because they sell millions of books. It is that simple. Once you get below those top few, which to be honest, there are only a few that are really, really that size, then it's going to be more down to individual sell-through rates. If you've got a listing where you've had 500 of an item and 300 of them have sold, and every second person that goes in and goes onto that list and buys one of them, then you're going to be right smack bang at the top. If you've got one and 100 people have looked at it and not bought it, it's going to be all the way down the bottom. And it's common sense. eBay, if they have somebody who they know is a customer who's likely to spend money, they are going to show them the listings that eBay has identified as being the ones that most likely will sell to them, because they want their cut, they want their business. They are a business. It makes perfect sense. You can get around that by paying high fees on your promoted listings. So the more you pay in promoted, the more you shift that balance towards your favour. It comes over towards your side of the seesaw. If you just put up listings, you don't do any promoted listings, you've got rubbish titles, you've got poor sell-through rates, you've only got 5 things listed, it could take ages for somebody to find it, unless the only stuff you listed is absolute banging. And that is the other way to go. If you want guaranteed sales, get stuff that is guaranteed to sell. When I started with the whole reselling piece, which wasn't that long ago, only a couple of years ago, I think, like North Face, yeah, that's a good brand. Everybody wears North Face, let's get one of them. However, clothing is different from books when it comes to that. North Face jacket, thousands of them. I mean, there's thousands of them listed. When they sell, they go for good money, and they do invariably sell. But if you go out and spend £20 on a jacket to sell it for 80 quid, that 20 quid is not coming back to you anytime soon, unless you are lucky and somebody just happens to type in the exact title that you put in when they're doing the search. So if you're looking for quick turnaround and you want to beat the eBay ceiling, then only list stuff that will sell like that. And I don't measure and record that, strictly speaking, but I do know that when I go do a book pickup and I pick out the stuff that is like, okay, that's popular, fast selling stuff, because there's a certain number of things that I know are in that field, yeah, nearly all of it sells within a couple of weeks. So if that's all I listed, then everything would sell all the time. I can't get enough stock to only list that and make enough money, so I have to list other stuff as well, and that's where the ceiling feels like it comes in. If I've listed 10 things that are fast sellers, 10 things will sell. If I've listed 20 things that are moderate sellers, then those 20 things will sell, but it'll take 2 or 3 times as long. And then the other 70% that I've put up is all the long tail stuff. So yeah, I could be sitting on it for a year before it goes, which means you get quiet spells like what I am experiencing just now, because that 70%, nobody's buying any of it. In a couple of weeks, there might be twice as much of it selling, because that's when people just happen onto it. But it's just, yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, it does feel like eBay put a ceiling on, but they don't look at it and go, don't like the look at him, we're going to let him have 10 sales today. That is what it ends up being, but I know how many sales I expect in a day, because I know how many sellers I'm going to get from what I've got on my listings. If I put in more and more of the slow selling stuff, then that impacts on my sell-through rate and means that I don't get as many good buyers. So that's why for now I've cut out a lot of that stuff until it can become a massive number. So taking away like 1,500 listings, so I'm down to about 1,500 listings from 3,000. Getting rid of all of that stuff that has a slow, poor sell-through rate, so that my overall sell-through rate increases slightly, and eBay will send me a few more buying customers, and price per item has gone from £3 up to £7 and all of these things as well. Anyway, that was a wee bit of a ramble, but I hope it makes sense. I think that was the only other thing I wanted to catch up on today. Yeah, that's us. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all of those things. Please, if you want, go check out the new channel, Ian Almost Does BookTube, link in the description. and hopefully when sales improve, I will see you tomorrow.